Good. Turn away.
Beautiful mommy.
Yes.
Let me see.
How Latinos pronounce NFL teams part 3.
Luis, ¿cómo se llama el equipo de fútbol?
Ese es Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ese es Miami Dolphins.
Son los Seattle Seahawks.
De Washington Commanders.
What's up, YouTuberverse? It's your boy RB back again for another one. Pablo Torre attempted to destroy LeBron's morality in a really weird, strange, twisted way. Let's talk about it. Nuance Machine, episode 46. Let's kick it. All right, before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, please check out my shop, Breezy's Prints, where you can find all original designs printed on high-quality tees, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies. All designs are done by yours truly, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I was listening to the Dan Le Batard show the other day, and Dan wasn't there. Pablo Torre was subbing in, and they had one of the wildest sports conversations I've ever heard. It started out fine, but it devolved into LeBron James bashing. And the further and further it went, the more and more clear it was that there was a narrative being built. Look, they didn't criticize his play on the court or the fact that he has 6 finals losses, but they attacked the shit out of his moral compass.
Where's my compass? Where's my compass?
So they start the conversation talking about Bronny's cardiac arrest. They shift to Jaylen Brown signing the largest contract in NBA history. And they literally spend about 2 seconds on that topic just so that Pablo Torre can shift the conversation to LeBron. Let's listen to some of this and I'll give you some of my thoughts.
There was actual concern for his life.
Yeah, there was a coordinated effort to also keep the privacy and respect for the family, which I find actually oddly hopeful.
A rare line when it comes to what dignity we're preserving. But simultaneous to all of this thread interlinking news on the internet is the fact that, as we were talking a minute ago, Shams Charania has a follow-up story about how Jaylen Brown just agreed to a 5-year, $304 million Supermax contract.
Wow.
The richest deal in NBA history. As we've anticipated, as we've been wondering, what's taking so long with Jaylen Brown? And the reason this connects back to all of these stories is because now that we know that Bronny is okay, we can also do a little bit of hypothesizing about the timeline of his dad's tweets about money in sports, and we realized that when LeBron was posting that meme about how he was Forrest Gump running towards the money that the Saudis were offering, well, now the timeline's a little confusing to me, and I don't want to dwell on that, but the point is, here we are now, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, Draymond Green, Giannis Antetokounmpo, all of these guys figuring into this conversation about are NBA players being paid enough? And should they actually be running to the Saudi sovereign wealth fund to get what they're not being offered domestically?
First thing I noticed here right off the gate, Pablo immediately questioning the timing of the tweet. Undertones being, shame on you, LeBron, shame on you.
Shame.
Your kid almost died and you're out here tweeting about Saudi money.
Well, you mentioned the timing of it, and by reports, the call went out in the morning around like 9:23 local time, and that tweet went out later in the evening. One can assume LeBron by then had been given all assurance that Bronny was okay. He's moved out of the ICU. So LeBron decides to venture into the social media landscape after all of this, and he picks a pretty taboo subject.
I'm really glad the dude in the pink shirt immediately shut that down. Like, come on, Pablo, you're stretching. Have you ever had relatives in the hospital before, man? Like, there's nothing to do but be on your phone. As a parent, I've taken my kids to the ER a couple times. And look, if we're just waiting on tests to come back and we're just chilling in the hospital room, my kids watching Paw Patrol, content, I'm going to pull out my phone and be on Instagram. Sue me. Like, does that make me a bad person? I don't understand. Absolute nonsense to me.
And LeBron, who is not without controversy when weighing in on China, decides to like have a laugh with all the Saudi money being spilled.
Well, as did Draymond Green, as did Giannis, who said, I kind of look like Kylian Mbappe, who just got offered, as we talked about in yesterday's show, reportedly, close to 700, whatever it is, $500 million for a year.
There are reports out there, and we don't know the true number, but there are reports out there that the entire package, transfer fee, player wages, additional endorsements, it's a belly for 1 year, with the acknowledgement that Mbappe can go to Real Madrid at the end of the contract.
So instinctively, I understand if you're an NBA player who is not making that much money despite being literally LeBron James or Giannis or even Draymond, I understand why your instinct is to laugh and wonder about a world in which you did get paid that because some sovereign wealth fund was going to pay you that. But what Mike brought up about the word taboo is what was so fascinating to me, is because it did not feel like that taboo even vaguely registered with the speed and the humor with which these guys were tweeting about it. And it made me wonder about if the entire sports washing conversation, it's just already over. Like,
LeBron can't be a normal person in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I can't imagine anyone took that tweet seriously unless you're trying to create a narrative. Like, does anyone think LeBron would actually play in Saudi Arabia?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Mbappe turned it down. Messi turned it down. What makes y'all think LeBron wouldn't? Like, because of this tweet? It's called a joke. But no, the joke must be taken apart, analyzed, and twisted into a narrative.
Pablo, you were saying like when they have their board meetings over in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the person that has the sports account, and we try to figure out what the end game is.
yes. Yesterday we talked about this.
There's celebration when he sees LeBron normalizing the conversation.
The greatest
High fives. Look, he
tweet
posted
update.
a funny meme. Oh my gosh, we did it.
He wants our money.
We did it, Joe.
Mission accomplished. We have these guys that we're not even offering contracts to asking us to offer them contracts. And that's the point. Like, that's the point to me.
Are y'all serious right now? Look, nobody is asking for a contract. You see that twist right there? It's not just, yay, Saudis are happy we commented about this. It's, yay, the Saudis are happy we're asking for contracts. Nobody asked for a damn contract. Not a single one of them. But to me, this is where it gets really interesting, because notice the Freudian slip right here. Pablo tries mentioning Giannis and Draymond to act as if he's including them when he mentions moral authority. But he slips up and he says him, not they. You got to step your pronoun game up, Pablo.
But also the follow-up question then to me is like, well, what did LeBron, Draymond, Giannis, what did they pay in exchange for these tweets? What's the cost incurred? And to me, the cost incurred is only a cost that I can impose as Guy filling in for Dan Le Batard trying to do a serious story after we did TikTok Live, which is to say that I hope that it costs him his credibility when it comes to being a moral authority on other stuff. What I'm wondering about is whether that math of, oh, there are all these other people living under the thumb of this regime, whether they actually matter to my math.
He says, and I quote, I hope it costs him his credibility when it comes to being a moral authority on other stuff, end quote. Damn, that really took a left turn, didn't it? I mean, he's saying that this meme right here should cost LeBron all moral authority on any subject. So let's break this down. Why is he saying this? Now, first off, I want to say that I'm not suggesting that I consider LeBron James to be a moral authority on anything. I don't idealize celebrities like that. At the end of the day, they're just people. They may be extremely talented in one thing, but they are just people. And look, after all the things LeBron has done off the court, married his high school sweetheart, has never been involved in any type of cheating scandal or anything like that, donated over $100 million to charity through his LeBron James Foundation, has sent over 1,000 kids to college through scholarships. It's kind of wild to watch people twist themselves into pretzels to attempt to bash his character and his morals. When LeBron came out with his political statements about Black folks being mistreated by the police, That was the first time that I can remember the subject of whether you liked LeBron or not was mostly politicized. Like before that, it was just mostly about, did you like the decision or not? Did you like the picnic table shirt he was wearing when he made the decision? And Laura Ingraham told him to shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble.
That drew the political lines, and it was clear where LeBron stood on these political lines. And ever since then, people have been trying to discredit his moral authority, which to me is being purposely misused and turned into a social media buzzword like woke. It's not the correct context on how we should see LeBron's political stance on police violence. LeBron is a black male in America. He grew up poor with a single mother. And if he sees young black people being taken out by the police, young people like Tamir Rice, you can see why he would have something to say. But the whataboutisms of, well, you spoke out against police brutality in America, but what about what China's doing? Why is he silent about that? Because he's silent about what China is doing, he has no moral authority to speak out about police brutality in America. That's the conclusion that's being made here. Enos Cantor already did this with the China situation. And now Pablo Torre and this cast of characters are legitimizing those whataboutisms with this Saudi money tweet. So that people can say, oh, the Saudis have done awful things. And LeBron says that he would take money from the Saudis who have done awful things. So why would we listen to him when it comes to police brutality or any other subject he may want to talk about that might be just slightly politicized? By the way, you know who else took money from the Saudis? And he's our former president. Which brings me to the phrase moral authority. Moral authority. If you're an adult and you're looking to a celebrity, athlete, politician, anyone besides yourself to be some kind of moral authority in your life, then that's just sad. Really damn sad. I got news for you. There are no moral authorities. We're all human. We've all had moments of weakness and moments of strength. We've all done things we're ashamed of, and we've all done things we're proud of. We're all capable of doing the same stuff. It really just depends on what kind of circumstance we're in. If you're worried about your kid looking up to LeBron as some kind of moral authority, again, that's sad. You're the moral authority in your kids' lives, not some celebrity. Be it. And if your kid looks up to LeBron, then I'm sure that they look up to him because of his longevity, his talent, his commitment to hard work, and for his love of the game of basketball, not for his political views, not as some kind of moral authority. You want to know my moral authority? Don't be a complete dick. That's the rule I live by.
He says that he's an a-hole, but he's not, and I'm quoting him here, 100% a dick.
Do you believe him?
Well, I don't know that I believe anyone's 100% a dick, man.
What do I mean by that? I mean that I don't always have to be nice, but I do always have to be kind. Look, let me give you an example. A while ago at work, I had a confrontation with a female coworker. It blew up in front of everyone. We were yelling, screaming, cursing at each other, saying things that shouldn't have been said. Like 3 days later, we were working together. Just the two of us. Nobody else in the building. As soon as I walked in the door, the very first thing I did was walk up to her and apologize. Why? Not because I thought I was wrong. No, I still thought that I was completely justified in being angry. Still think that to this day. But I will acknowledge that I said some things that I shouldn't have said. I will acknowledge that it wasn't the right time or place to say these things. And I apologized. She apologized back. And guess what? We're cool now, to the point where we can joke about the fight that we had, and it ain't no thing. You know what I mean? I don't have to be nice to you all the time, but I am always kind. I will always respect you. And so that's what I mean by don't be a dick. You know, I could have just as easily declared war against her, given her the cold shoulder, and pretended like working with her was a chore. But honestly, putting that much effort into throwing shade is such a damn chore, and it just ain't for me. And that's why I can't be a complete dick. And that's my moral authority. It's going to be all for this one, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Can't wait.
Love you guys. Peace.
Dark side, light this bitch up.